Somebody to love. All right. So yours truly, Diva Reed. I am going to be going through legal stuff, sovereignty. Speak a little bit on that. Legal, lawful credit, credit card bills, house notes, car notes. What else? Understanding what Linnell, hey, William, hey, Lewis, hey. So, okay, this is yours truly, Diva Marie. I'm going to come with the law, the legal stuff, the sovereignty, understanding what it is and how to make it work for you. So I'm waiting. I'm going to let a few more people come in here. And what I need for you all to do, hola, amigo. I need you to please let me know if you can hear me okay. If I'm breaking up, let me know so that I don't get deep into this. I'm on a freestyle on this. Freestyle. And we're going to talk a little bit. If you have questions, I want to answer some questions because I can go on for days with respect to this sovereignty and legal stuff. So, but what I want you to do is tell me, if you have questions, like I'm going to start on what sovereignty is, and how to, why it's important to understand who you are and how to stand when we're dealing in this matrix. So I'm going to go through that. But yeah, I deal with helping people with legal issues, lawful issues, again, the credit card bills, the house notes, the car notes, and all of that stuff, and understanding what's going on. So please, we're going to do this today, as I'm trying to get my marathon going for these, today and yesterday, and just trying to get these topics out of the way that I have to speak on. So please, if you have any questions, I'm waiting. I'm just I'm gonna give a couple of seconds here, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm in the Andre 3000 mode, love hater. So we're gonna, I'm just getting everybody in. Jalen, hello. Eve, what's going on? Haven't seen you in a while. So yeah, Tara, thank you for joining me. We're gonna do this thing once again, talk about sovereignty. We're gonna talk about lawful, legal, credit card issues and what they are, what it is when you're getting these receipts, how to, we can talk about, if you want to understand how to get your money back, because one of the things we don't understand is that really you're not supposed to be paying for anything. What am I saying when I say that? I'm saying that you're supposed to be able to walk in the grocery store and get your groceries and walk out. You're not supposed to have to pay. I didn't say steal it. Now, some of y'all might take that the wrong way. And no, I didn't say steal it, but I'm saying there's a way that to understand what's going on in this thing. Some of you all have heard of House Joint Resolution, and you've heard of sovereignty, and I'm going to clear some things up too with respect to this term sovereign citizen and what's going on and why you're being made to fear with respect to this. Okay, so I'm going to get started in a few minutes. I'm waiting on some questions. I want you all to ask me some questions because I'm just going to, hey, Sewell, brother. So we're going to get on this sovereignty, and I want to take some questions. I want you to ask me questions because this is more of a freestyle. I don't have any particular topic because there are so many ways to go when we're talking about sovereignty, but I want you to please go ahead and, let me know if you have questions. So I'm going to get on this. First of all, what is sovereignty? And I'm waiting on your questions, please, because this is a freestyle. I'm not going to make this a long deal unless you really want to know what's going on. Now, sovereignty, let's understand what it is. Sovereignty means that you stand as an individual, as a competent person to handle your own affairs. Now, I know you're feeling like, well, I already have that. I'm already competent and whatever. But if you are relying on the government, if you have a situation where, basically, if you have a driver's license, then you are a citizen. Now, there's a term called sovereign citizen. And let's understand what that term actually means. It is made so that to confuse you, okay? When you hear that term, first of all, a citizen is someone who belongs to a corporation, a citizen. So if you're a citizen of the United States, you're basically a slave to that corporation. Now, forgive me for using that term. I know a lot of people get misplaced when I use that term. But anyway, if you're a citizen, then yeah, you're a slave of the corporation. That means you stand under their authority. That means you are subject to all of their laws. If you're sovereign, then you stand under no one's law. You stand as a human being. And that means you're not subject to the laws of the United States or really anybody else. You are sovereign. You are a state in fact. Now let's understand this. You as a being, you are of the earth, and you are also a state in fact. So because you're of the earth, you are land, and that makes you a walking state. But now, because you don't know who you are, like some of us, again, you're still saying you're a citizen, and when the police pulls you over, you're pulling out a driver's license, you know, which basically is saying, I am a slave to this corporation called the United States Corporation. So those are the things that you're doing that causes you to be treated as a citizen and be up under the laws of that corporation. So basically, when we're talking about, you know, this term sovereign citizen, let's understand what that is, because again, it's an oxymoron. If you're a citizen, that means you belong to someone. If you are if you are a sovereign, that means you stand above all other laws. You have your own law. Like what I help people to do is, you know, we go through, you know, declarations, we go through trust law, we go through UCC filings. So those are the first things. We also go through what's known as the birth certificate authentication. So those are some of the things that we deal with when we're talking about sovereignty, and that I help people with. Marshall, Frank, Riri. So thank you all for joining me. So these are the things that I want to discuss. Now ask me questions, because I had some people who were saying, hey, I'm looking forward to the law session. And really, this one is just a freestyle, you know, for people to ask questions about what sovereignty is, how it works, how it can help you. Now, let me go through a couple of things about why sovereignty is important, okay? First of all, what we're not understanding is that as human beings, we stand above the authority of any corporation. So the United States is nothing more than a corporation. State of Georgia, state of Texas, state of California, all of those states they are nothing more than corporations. That's it. And you stand above them when you know how to walk, when you understand who you are. And that's what sovereignty is all about. Now let's get on how this thing came into play. And then we can, you know, if you want to ask questions, then we can go from there. But one of the things that happened, you know, you hear a lot of people talk about the birth certificate and what it really is. Well, the birth certificate is a bond that's placed on your person as a human being. Now, when your mother gives birth or gave birth to you, how does it work? I'm gonna tell you, so. So when your mother came or gave birth to you, she filled out a birth certificate. Okay. What happens is she's going to send that birth certificate off to the state of Georgia, state of whatever. State sends that off to the United States Corporation, because the United States is not a government. Okay. And by the way, that corporation only resides in Washington, D.C. It has no authority or jurisdiction over you. It's not even the real United States of America. So that's another story. I won't go into that now, but the bottom line, when that birth certificate or certificate of live birth goes to the state, what happens is the United States Corporation gets money off of this document. It's a bond, because that's what it becomes, a bond. And with this bond, right now, the rate is close to $1,000. Oh, no, excuse me, 1,000. It's $1 million is what the corporation, United States corporation, gets when anyone is registered with their corporation. And so they're going to borrow this money from the IMF, also known as the International Money Fund. Now, somehow they're working hand in hand. But the bottom line is they get these credits. Right now, whenever someone's registered, is close to $1 million. And that money goes into an account. Those credits, rather, because there is no money. There's no such thing as money, and I have to go into that at some other time. Or later, if you want to know, let me know. But there is no money. What they do is they have credits, $1 million worth of credits that go into a fund, an account that sits there with your, and it's denoted by your name, all capital letter name, and it's denoted by your social security number. And that is an account, all right? And that account is held with the Secretary of Treasury with the United States Corporation. Now, notice I keep saying United States Corporation. Now, let's understand, you know, why I'm calling it a corporation and how you can tell that it's a corporation. Now, when they create corporations, because that name on your birth certificate, it's a corporation. It's not you. It is a corporation. What does that mean? When they created this account, it has all capital letters, all capital letters. That denotes a corporation. Now, the way you can remember this is that, you know, the term corpse means dead, okay? And see, corpse, death, that's what it means. Now, when you notice on a tombstone, when they put the name of the corporation, it's going to have all capital letters, or excuse me, when they put the name of the person who's deceased, it's going to be in all capital letters, okay? And so that is denoting that this is a dead entity, a dead person. And that is the same thing when they put all capital letters on your driver's license, on your passport, on all of your bills that you're getting. That is a corporation. It is not you. All right. Now, you can tell this because go look at your driver's license, look at your bills, look at your passport. And what you're going to notice is that all of that is in all capital letters, all capital letters. That denotes a corporation, a dead, fictitious entity. It is not you. And the problem is that you think it's you because they've made you believe that you are this fictitious dead entity. That entity is what we call a debtor. Okay, now the truth is you are a creditor. The truth is you are the one who's giving money to keep this United States corporation going. You are the creditor. So what do I mean when I say you're supposed to be able to walk in the grocery store, get your groceries and walk out? Because you as a creditor are not supposed to be paying for nothing. Nothing. Because that's what it means when we're talking about sovereignty. That's what it means when we're talking about you as a creditor to the United States, because that's what you are. Now, let's understand how this works. I'm going to finish with the birth certificate. So your mother sends in this birth certificate. The corporation, United States, and by the way, let's talk about why it is a corporation. Notice that United States is in all capital letters. United States. Now, sometimes you'll see that all capital letters, United States of America. The deal with that is that this corporation was incorporated inside of Washington, D.C. It's not the original government, and what it has done is usurped authority over the original government. And so because of that, you're not understanding, and most of us, 99.9% of us, do not understand that you're really just pledging allegiance to this corporation as a slave. Not to mention, Washington, D.C. is not, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but Washington, D.C. is a foreign country. That's what you all don't understand, and that's what's been regulated from the original Constitution, that this is a foreign land that was created for the different states in the United States to be able to resolve issues. And so, you know, the Queen of England or whatever, because that's who owns the United States corporation, Now, the original United States of America government is supposedly still owned by Morocco. That's another story. But this corporation that we are pledging allegiance to, that we think there's a president to, that we think we're voting for, it's a corporation, and it has enslaved all of the people. And you know, that's why they're trying to make make you pay taxes, because you pay for their debt. So that's what we're talking about when we say sovereignty, is understanding how to get back to, or get out of not being a slave, and understand how to walk as a creditor, as a sovereign person, and how to handle your affairs with respect to your sovereignty. All right, so let me make sure I you know, cover all of this, and everybody understand that with respect to the birth certificate. Now, again, these funds, they go into an account, and that account collects interest over time. So if you're over 18, you know that you've got millions of dollars in that account. And so what we need to do is to understand basically how to walk in that. One second, I'm a little bit distracted. Phone never rings. All right, everybody following that? You have any questions? The hoax, yeah. Somebody wrote in the hoax. Yeah, the hoax basically is what's going on with the United States, and understanding why it is. Now, as a creditor, let's understand this. You are the one who put funds into the United States to help it keep going. Okay, so as a creditor to the United States, all right, as a creditor, but you are not supposed to be paying for anything. And let's understand how this works, because this is why you see these corporations, when you go in to buy product, they're always, well, here's your receipt. Take your receipt. Here's your receipt. Why are they so adamant about you taking this receipt? Well, because if they don't give you a receipt, then the transaction is considered fraudulent. Can you all hear me okay? Am I breaking up? Is this coming through? Hold on. See. All right, so yeah, am I coming through okay? Am I breaking up? Everybody hear me clearly? Hello. Drop me a note. Christina, hey. Wanda, Mark, hit me up. Let me know, because I want to make sure I'm not just talking and this is not going through. All right, so at any rate, what ends up happening is that, okay, thank you, Eve. All right, so hold on 1 second. All right, I can't hear me. All right, so anyway, what we have is a situation where you are the creditor to the United States. And so because of that, you're not supposed to be paying for anything that goes on. So when they're handing you these receipts, they have to give you the opportunity to cure that debt. What does that mean? Yeah, background noise. What does it mean to give you the opportunity to cure this debt? What that means is that you have to be given okay, here's the deal. When they give you a receipt, they're saying, well, we gave him a receipt, but he didn't use it. Because what you're supposed to do is take that receipt and send it in to the Secretary of Treasury, the one who's holding your account, and you're supposed to get every penny that you paid out in Federal Reserve notes is supposed to be accredited back to your account. And what we call that is a Treasury direct account. So there, again, you're not supposed to be paying for anything. But because you don't know, and you go in the store and they're like, here's your receipt. And you take the receipt and you don't do anything with it. What it's like, well, we gave him a receipt and an opportunity to cure the debt. He didn't pay it. That's not our fault. It's not. Because you didn't know that you're a creditor and you're not supposed to be paying for it. And they are supposed to be paying for it. So what happens is with these receipts, once again, let's understand this, your signature is highly valuable. Your signature is highly valuable. And the next thing I want to get on is what's happening when you go to pay a mortgage. and what the real fraud is behind that whole deal, the hoax, as my brother Sewell said. Okay, so basically when you're, I want to finish up with these receipts, but yeah, you're supposed to go ahead. When you put your signature on a document that has numbers, because when you go in the grocery store, okay, loaf of bread, $2, milk, $3, whatever, $5, total, you got $20, and your total might be $300. Let's say, for example, at the bottom, there's a total, it says $300. Well, once you put, first of all, that receipt is very valuable. Now, but it's valuable once you put your signature at the bottom of that sucker, because it becomes what we call an instrument. And look this up. We call these, they're called instruments, but the term is financial instruments is what it is. So when you put your signature at the bottom of that sucker, and there's what we call an A4V, accept for value. Look that up, or accepted for value, ACCEPTED, for FOR, value, VALUE. Look that up. And once you accept that, you're like, okay, that's fine. I accept this for value. You have a signature on that, and then on the back, that's where you would sign for this. You send this sucker in to the Secretary of Treasury. And of course, there's, more, you have to be very organized when you're sending this in. But once you've done that document, and I show people how to go through and do this, you are supposed to get every penny on that receipt. That sucker say $300, that sucker say $500. You send that into the Secretary of Treasury, and every penny is to be accredited or credited back to your account. That's how that works, because once you understand you are a creditor, then you understand okay, basically, let's understand how this thing works, because once again, your mother sends in a birth certificate. There's an account that is created with your all capital letter name coming from your birth certificate and denoted by that Social Security number. That is the equivalent of you walking, for example, into a credit union. You walk into the credit union and you put in, let's say, $1 million. That's what this is like. That's what you have done, in a sense, with the United States Corporation. The deal is, though, they didn't tell your mother that she opened up an account when she signed you over. And they're not telling you that you are a creditor. They're making you believe that you are the sucker, dead, fictitious corporation, so that they can keep manipulating your account. So now let's understand what's happening when they are manipulating your account. What happens with the mortgage? Because this is the, whoo, it's like when you understand the fraud going on with this thing, it's like, why would you want to stay in that position and not have your sovereignty? So let's understand what happens when you walk into a mortgage company and you say, oh, I want a loan. Okay, let's understand this. Y'all ready? I need lessons. I knew it was bullshit. I told you. I tried to told y'all. Anyway, you know where to hit me up. When you're ready, we'll get it done. Now, let's understand when you're walking into the mortgage company and you say, okay, I would like to buy a house. And they're going to say, okay, well, let's see if you've got, if we can pre-approve you for credit, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's bullshit. That is really all that stuff about pre-approving you and all of that and checking your credit. I get angry faces down there. I understand. It's basically saying they're just trying to look into your account, because whenever you go into get a mortgage, get a car loan, get a credit card, whatever, you are going to sign over power of attorney. Why do you have to sign over power of attorney? Because you are going to give them permission to manipulate your $1 million account that you don't know about. So what they're going to do, you're going to sign over power of attorney. And they're going to pretend like, okay, we're going to approve you, and they're going to determine whether it's 8% or 21% or whatever they're going to jack you out of. And so what's going to happen is you're going to, especially with house loans, the mortgages, you're going to go in and you're going to sign, they're going to give you a document. They call it a estimate, fair something estimate or whatever. So they're going to list out, okay, this is how much the house is going to cost to build. This is how much the contractor costs. This is how much the land costs. This is how much the insurance costs. This is how much the other BS costs. And whatever other ad valorem, I'm saying ad valorem, that's probably for a car. I don't know. But anyway, they're going to add up all of this stuff. And they're going to get to that bottom line. And with that bottom line, that, let's say it's $200,000. They're going to get to that $200,000 bottom line. And they're going to tell you to sign that sucker. And when you, remember, if that sucker got a number down there at the bottom, like it's totaled out, and this is the number $200,000, and you sign it, you have just created an instrument, and that instrument is worth $200,000. And guess where it's coming from? Your account. They ain't loaning you nothing. Nothing. So what's going to happen is you've already signed over power of attorney. And because you have signed over power, I've given them permission to act upon your account. So remember, it's like you have an account with the credit union being the United States Corporation. And then you've given somebody permission to go in and deduct funds from your account. That document you see that you sign at the bottom that says $300,000 or $200,000 is in this case. That document you sign, okay, that is an instrument. They're going to turn that into an instrument. It's about the same as you signing a money order or you signing a check. It's the same thing. So you sign this thing, they're going to turn it into an instrument, and they're going to go pull that from your account. Then, it gets good, because they're going to tell you, yes, we've given you a loan. They ain't loan you nothing. They took the money straight out of your account. Your house is paid for upfront, already belonging to you, but you don't know to go claim it. So they're going to tell you, okay, so we gave you a loan for $200,000. Now, by the time you get finished paying this sucker off, you might be unpaid $400,000. But they're going to tell you the loan is worth $200,000, and these plus whatever the crap they put on top of it, plus the interest. And they're going to tell you what the notes are. All right, now you are paying them when they didn't loan you any money. So they take this loan now and they've attached it to your property. So the way this works is they make this loan document or trust and they attach it to your property, whereby if you don't pay this loan that they didn't loan you money, then they're going to take your house. That's how that works. And so because we don't know any better, we go and first of all, we sign a power of attorney letting them go into our account because we don't know how to manipulate it. Then we turn around and end up, paying with Federal Reserve notes with hard sweat equity, and I'm working hard to try to pay this house note off, and you really don't owe them anything. But get this, it gets better. It gets better. They really they got over with this one, and they got down. But watch this. So, the loan that they say you owe them. Now, remember I told you on that bill that you signed with all those, that good faith estimate, with all those numbers, and it had insurance on there. They make you pay for your own insurance in the case you default. But wait, before that, there's one before that. Let me get to the other one. Okay, but I'm coming back to the insurance. But when they take this loan out on you, they're going to run that sucker, that instrument, because there's another instrument that's created with it. They're going to run the loan instrument on the stock market. They're going to run that sucker on the stock market. Now, let me tell you how they run it, how it works. They're like, okay, we got another sucker. And they got your loan document. And they're saying, listen, who wants to bet that this sucker is going to default on this loan inside of 5 years? Now, they're going to have other people on the stock market betting that you default inside of 5 years. Some people, I take that bet for $100, and somebody else go, I take the bet that they'll default inside of 2 years for $50. Whatever. That's how they're bidding on it. They're bidding on you defaulting on that loan. So now this company is taking this document with your signature on it, and they are copying it over and over and over. I mean, it's really illegal what they're doing, but we ain't saying nothing. So what? It's not, what they say is not a foul if it doesn't get called. Well, if you're not calling them on it, then it's not a foul. So at any rate, it's a foul. It's fraud, but you haven't called them on it. So what they're doing is they're copying this document over and over again with your name, and they're selling it. And they're making millions of dollars off of this document that you have signed, because there are two of them. There's the one that signs your house, or that gave them permission to go into your account and pull out the $200,000. And then there's the loan document that they're running. Yes, I am. And then there's the loan document that they're running on the stock market to pull more funds, or to bet off of you defaulting on this loan. I was answering the question. My brothers asked me, are you sovereign? Yes, I am. And now here's the deal, because there's a third way that they're making money. So they're, first of all, making money off the fact that they didn't loan you any money, but there's a loan that has been established by them. Secondly, they're taking that document and they're making millions of dollars on the stock market by betting on your demise. Third, remember I just said they are, there's insurance that they make you pay for. And all of that is in that little good faith estimate where they're like, okay, insurance is, I don't know how much insurance is, but that insurance is, in the case that you default, they are going to go to your insurance company and collect the full $200,000. They have covered themselves all kind of ways and making all kind of millions of dollars off of your one signature that you don't have a clue of what they're doing. They are just a middleman. You could have done that yourself, but again, when you don't know, what they say, knowledge is power. Okay, so that's what's happening. They are, making money, many kind of, and those are just three off the top of my head. There's more ways that they're really going about this, and just making a lot of money, and just totally defrauding everybody. Now let's understand this. When they create these documents, these deeds, they copy them and they send, as they're putting it on the stock market. Now, the thing with these deeds is that, when they want to foreclose, when they loaned you this loan that they know good and damn well you can't pay off, they did it because they know your demise makes them hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. Your demise makes them a lot of money. They get the betting on that. She ain't gonna pay it. He ain't gonna pay it. Okay, and they know, and they put that on the stock market, and they betting against you. So again, they're going to get their money from the insurance. They're getting their money from the bets on the document. And then they're going to try to take your house if you don't know any better, because this is when we get into the legal side. Because the thing about this is that when they come at you, if you even get to court, because normally I tell my people, you don't go into court, you stay out of court. And that's the other thing with, sovereignty. You don't courts deal with fictitious people. When you go into court, they're calling that all capital letter fictitious dead entity. They're not talking to you, the human being, but you keep saying, I'm the fictitious dead entity, it's me. Well, then as soon as you do that, you've taken the role of a debtor. Let me tell you something. People are in jail because they consent. You consented. You signed something saying, okay, I want to be locked up because I don't know who the hell I am. You keep running around calling yourself black, African American, colored, Negro, minority, all these other terms, even white is a term under their jurisdiction. So when you don't know and understand who you are, then you keep putting yourself in this situation. So let me get back to the court. When you're in court for this situation, there are so many remedies. That's why, I try to get to my people before they even get to that point. But there are a lot of remedies, even when you're in court. And if you're in court and you are, they're trying to repossess your house, which I get you out before that. But okay, let's say you're in court. One of the things that they're doing with these deeds is, again, they're selling them on the stock market. By the time you get ready to go and have them, they're trying to repossess your house, they don't have a damn clue where the deed is. They don't know. They don't know. And because they don't have the deed, they can't claim the property. But we don't know enough to ask, do you have the original deed with the signature on it? We don't know enough to ask that. Because first of all, again, they have to give you the opportunity to cure the debt. Because once you get into court, only thing a court is for in public is for a declaratory judgment. Declare that you are the loser. Judgment. That's what it is. So when you're in court, only thing they want, you either got all the money up front to pay for it, or they're going to be saying they want the house. Now, at this point, you should be saying, I need to see the original document that was signed by the debtor. And they're going to go, and so if they can't show it, they can't take the house, because they can't show that legal proof that they have the right of the possession of the house. And if they can't show that, they can't take the house. But let's say they show you, which is like 99.9% of the time they won't, but let's say they show it to you and they go, okay, this is the original document that you signed. That's fine. Remember that long list of numbers. And at the bottom it said $200,000. And so you have signed it. When you flip that sucker over on the back, sign it. Turn it back over to the front. There's an A for V. Remember this, accepted for value. There is an accepted for value statement that you put on that sucker. And that becomes payment. That becomes payment. Remember I said money doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. We don't understand what's going on in this whole, what I call the matrix. And those are the things that I show people with respect to sovereignty, with respect to legal, the credit card debts, house notes, all of that. All right, it is about knowing, and because we are ignorant to who we are, we're ignorant to this whole process. We don't even know there's two United States. We don't know that. But when I said I'm crazy, okay, I'd be crazy, but I ain't paying no damn bills that these people talking about. Peace, Abdul. Peace, Malcolm. Brian, how you doing? So that's what we're talking about with sovereignty. Please, I want to, I want to hear your questions. If you have it, how long have I been going? I've been going about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And I'm going to close it out in a few minutes, but I just wanted to see if people had any questions. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Topic was the comment. Thank you. I want to see if people have any questions about this sovereignty, about what legal is, what lawful is, credit card bills, house notes, taxes. Please ask me your questions, and because this is an open forum. I have sessions with people all the time where we go through this stuff in detail. Like I walk people through it, and a lot of people, and it's good. You can learn this information on your own. What I am is like the equivalent of a coach, a gym coach, what they call a fitness trainer. You understand? I mean, you can go into the gym by yourself and work out, pump it up. But it's nice to have someone walk you through it step by step, who you can ask questions about certain things. And that's what I do. I help people to walk through this, because sometimes it's intimidating. Sometimes you have questions and you don't know, and that kind of like the questions that we have will stop us from moving forward and gaining our sovereignty. We'll have fears because the media puts out fears because they don't want you to know about sovereignty. They want you to hear terms like sovereign citizen and, you know, see little stupid videos about, you know, things that really didn't happen, and they put this cinema in the media, and they just trying to scare you because they don't want you to be sovereign. Why, if you a slave, why the hell would I be trying to let you go? I'm not trying to let you go. So that's one of the things that's going on when you're seeing these, you're hearing these terms, sovereign citizen. That is an oxymoron. I'm gonna say it again. Sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. A citizen is someone who belongs to a corporation. If you are a citizen of the United States, you are a slave of the corporation. You don't want to be a citizen. That means that you are subject to their laws. Now, I need to say this, and I'm waiting on questions. So ask me a damn question. Stop all that cursing on my damn thread. All right, ask me a question so I can answer some things. But I do want to say this because I speak a lot on on sovereignty. I guess you upset. They won't let you back in. Oh, did the video go out? You all still with me? Hold on. Okay. Are you all still with me? Let me know. Hit me up. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna finish up here. I spoke on yesterday about spirituality, universal laws, because the universal laws, they really stand above all of this matrix stuff. And they're very, very important. And I get a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I just want to know how to do the paperwork. Because, you know, if I do the paperwork makes you sovereign. Understanding who you are makes you sovereign. I can give you, you know, you can have all the paperwork for days. You can have, they think, you know, I got a card that says I'm such and such and such. That's not what makes you sovereign. Sovereign is understanding who you are and knowing how to walk. That's what makes you sovereign. If we're not supposed to be paying for this, how do we get past that? Okay, you get past that by understanding who you are and understanding what the corporation is. You've got to understand the history. This is why, like, when I, thank you, Wanda, when I go through these things with people, we go through the history of this country. Like when the original people, the Paleo-Aboriginal Americans, were in the land and who they were. And who these people they called Native Americans really are, because they're not the original people of the land. Who these people that calling themselves Black and African American are, where, you know, how did all of this stuff start? You know, where did the term slave come from? So we're going through the history all the way up into understanding how there are two United States, understanding that the original United States was a republic, and that it was owned by Morocco, and that this United States corporation is a democratic, and that is owned by the Queen of England, and then understanding the difference between a republic and a democratic government. So republic, and I'll just say this since I brought it up, a republic deals with your God-given unalienable rights that cannot be transferred or voted away or taken from you, or nothing resold to you, nothing. That means you got the right to travel, you got the right to bear arms and keep your arms, you got the right to privacy of your property. That means any of these agents, which they call cops or IRS or whoever, come on your property, that's your property. And they don't have the right to tread on it, or you can charge them for it. So you have the rights that cannot be taken away from you when you understand how to stand on them. Because these are nothing more than corporations, and there's a law that lets you know that a corporation does not have any jurisdiction over a human being. Are you a human being, or are you a dead fictitious corporation? Well, once you understand how to stand on that, understand who you are, then you are not subject to their jurisdiction. And then when you understand who you are as a creditor, then you know how to manipulate their system to your advantage. Now, I really encourage people to get away from the system. And that's how I walk in my life. But, you know, I do get people who want to manipulate it. I do get people who are, you know, upside down in their car note, upside down in their house note. And then I help them to deal with those. But, you know, that's the thing. You've got to understand, you know, who you are. And the other thing, you know, the other thing that I need to get on is for people is that this thing is spiritual. Like when you get this gift of, oh, I don't have to have a house note, or I don't have to pay this car note, or I don't have to pay this credit cards, that's coming to you because you're on another spiritual level. And if you are not right with your spirit, and I know this sounds like, what the hell this got to do? We're talking about, Steve, I just want to know what the process is to get rid of this damn car note. Okay, but you need to understand that when you're doing that, that is a gift from the universe. And if your spirit and energy are not right, you're not going to receive it. You might receive it and then some kind of way lose the car. You have to understand that everything is spiritual. Nothing is happenstance. And if you didn't see that video that I did, please go back and look it up. Everything that's happening, even, you know, we struggle, we're stressed out and all of this other stuff, it's coming because of the energy that we have put out. If you want these things to go away, put out a different energy. And so I go through that with people because that is the most important. Because once you get the universal laws down, this other stuff, this legal stuff, this, you know, car notes, sovereignty, all this is like child's play because you're going to start manifesting things. So, but yeah, that's what I deal with, helping people understand, you know, what sovereignty is, how to walk, how to apply the process, all of that. So do I have any other questions before I go? So did you get back in? Let me see. Do I have any other questions? Let me see if maybe I missed a question or whatever. All right, but anyway, I hope this information was helpful to you all. Let's see. Whoa, I need. Yeah, I hope this information was helpful to you all, and that you know, again, if you can learn this on your own. My role is I act as a again, like a trainer, someone who's there to walk with you as you're processing. And so if it's something that you really want to know, you know, yeah, I hold people's hands as they're going through the process. But yeah, if it's something that you want to know, you know, you're welcome to hit me in the inbox and we could talk and I can give you some background, because that background is very important to understanding how to walk in this. All right, so I'm checking to see if I have any questions. I haven't seen any. But in the meantime, I'm yours truly, Diva Laree. Wait, I need a lesson. Oh, that's soon. Excited, brother. Let's see who else I have here. They don't make it easy to maneuver through this little, let's see. Any more questions before I go? 3, 2, 1, let me see. I can't see a thing. Delete. Okay, so I need to hit Facebook up because they're not they don't make this thing easy to scroll through. All right, so all right, well, that's it. I don't see any more questions. I have a house note and car note, and I understand what you're saying. But what do I do? You hit me up, Wanda. You got my information, and so that I can show you what to do, because you have to understand how to walk as a sovereign. And also, let me say this. walking as a sovereign is a lot of responsibility. Because see, you've had the corporation, you know, doing things for us, and we used to lean in on the corporation. When you're a sovereign, it's a different walk. You are walking like this is my thing, you know, but at the same time, you have a whole other level of responsibility. But you want to do it, I'll show you how to do it. All you need to do is hit me up, and we'll you know, set up some time to talk so that you can understand what the full process is of getting it done. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody. Anybody else? I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm yours truly, Diva LaRue. You got my info. Hit me up. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I'm out. Peace, Diva.